So the burning question right now is, do I file with BOI or not? Here's what I tell my clients that haven't yet filed, still wondering what to do. The answer is yes. Why? Well, this is for serious business owners, okay? So honestly, if you think there's conspiracies out there and you're worried about your First Amendment rights and all that stuff, I don't know what else to say to you. I got full respect for you, but I'm just going to now talk to people that are actually running a business and want to just make sure they're in compliance and not trying to be silly and dramatic. So the reason I'm telling that to my clients as a certified public accountant of 32 years is this. The case that everybody's talking about has decided nothing. There's been no resolution to that case, in the sense that there is now something that's saying, well, that's not going to be enforced, and with the filing, the due date's not enforced. Okay, so with this, that doesn't mean that you then don't do it, number one. Number two, this case is to those that have taken it to court. And even though the judge currently is making it a nationwide injunction, which is just we're putting things on hold, we're saying that this is not enforced on the due date, we're going to determine what's going on. The U.S. government has said, hey, time out. We want to appeal this. We'd like to further consider this. Here's what I need you to know. This isn't the first court case related to this. And one of the early court cases still has not been decided. So what are you risking by not filing? See, that's what my clients are interested in. What am I risking? You're risking by not filing somehow, maybe on the off chance, you still end up having to file and you didn't file timely, and then there's a penalty. And you go, well, that doesn't make sense. And what I'd say to my client is, we have already wasted more time discussing this than it would take you to actually complete this. It only takes a few minutes to report the name of your business, the EIN, and the address, and who the owner is. You're done. So for small businesses, this is not something that you need to hire an attorney. It doesn't take a lot of time. It is free. It's not somehow causing you not to be able to do business. But what I want you to think through is, when you now are running your business, what is it that you want to ensure that you're doing? Reducing risk. How do you reduce risk? By getting advisors that tell you what you need to do. And if you don't listen to the advisor, then why do you have them? So with my clients that don't listen to me, I send them on their way. Why? Because I'm clearly not an advisor if they're not going to follow my advice. So here's the deal. A previous court case was then later determined, even though still in its final appeal, that it only applied to those that were a party to the case. Just because a judge has said this is an injunction nationwide, okay, doesn't mean that ultimately that sticks. It may be that only that applies to those that are in the case, which would not be you. Now, the other silly question we get, and I get it's silly and I'm being sincere, is, well, do you really think, though, that if ultimately we should have filed, it doesn't apply to us, and therefore we didn't, now we're subject to penalties? Are they really, meaning FinCEN, are they really going to go back and do all the penalty? Probably not. Now, right now, if you go to the website at FinCEN, it even says, voluntarily you can file. They haven't taken it down. So what I'm trying to tell my clients is, we have better things to do than trying to figure this out. When we're asked to do something to be compliant in the law, my clients do it. Why? Because they're serious business owners that are trying to actually do what it takes to do what they meant to set out and get done as a business owner, which is to make money, which is to not have to pay penalties and not put themselves in a position to now be behind the eight ball and shoulda and woulda and coulda, because that takes away from the focus of their business. So my clients are filing if they haven't already. And what they know is this: even if ultimately this is washed away, what is it that we're hiding here? What is the big deal? You had the 5 minutes. So obviously, if you've made it to here, you're probably still wondering, but I want you to know this. I've got a group that are with me throughout the year that aren't clients, but are part of a consulting group that we talk through these things and we figure out collectively what is it that we need to do, not just on this issue, but other issues. And I got a link to that group in the body of this video. So with that being said, bottom line is, what is the problem here? Get on with the business of your business, file this darn thing and be done with it, and then not have to look over your shoulder and wonder and follow and figure out. And then, oops, I didn't realize that case didn't apply to me later. Oops, I didn't know that that injunction was lifted. Oops, I thought it was resolved. Oops, I didn't think I had to do it. Oops, and then later you didn't file, and then oops, now I have penalties. Oh, it's $591 a day. Oops, it was 10 days. There's $5,000 in penalty. Oh, it was a month. How much penalty is that? Oh, it was 6 months. How much penalty was that? That's what we're trying to avoid, and we're doing it by being smart. Okay? All right. Hey, thanks for tuning in. I'd love it if you'd subscribe. And then don't you ever forget, you've never met a CPA quite like me. You have a great one.